Hello everybody and welcome into my channel of Well-Being Facilitated Light. This message is slightly different today, so I just want to welcome you in. The channel was created to help you to grow, to heal, to get to your most authentic self so you can live a life that's filled with joy and happiness. Although we go through trials and tribulations, when our frequency is much higher, we can function and do things much better. Today's message that came through is about tarot therapy, but therapy in general. So therapy comes in many different ways. We have physical therapy, art therapy, all kinds of different therapy, mental therapy. The one we're going to talk about today is creative therapy. So this has been very prominent recently in the last couple days. I've always done this myself. I'm an artist personally, but I also am a creative. I like to create. I like to try different things. The reason I'm coming on about this is because I'd like to bring awareness to people. The brain is a part of our body. It's an organ that does thinking and breathing, and it's about remembering 1 + 1 is 2, and learning how to do a job and going to college and the school, the whole thing. But there's another part of your brain that gets used less and less as you get older, in most cases, unless you're a natural creative and you love to create things. This video that I'm creating is going to go through some different things and how it affects us. So when we look at creative therapy, it's not just art therapy. Art therapy is one section. They actually use physical art where you're drawing and you're creating and you're doing things. But the part that I'm going to be talking about is using your brain on the part that we forget is there. It's the imagination. It's thinking. It's pondering. It is using your motor skills, configuring and trying to figure things out. As we get older, certain parts of your brain don't get used. That's why as a kid, we used to love the imagination. And this is the creative art therapy that I want to bring out to the world and maybe get you sparked to try something new. If you're not an art person, it's okay, because art is in the spectrum, but we're going to expand upon that. If you like to sew, or if you would like to learn how to sew, sewing requires, what do you want to create? You can create outfits, you can create pocketbooks, you can create curtains, you can create bags, you can create all different kinds of things that you can use within your house, but it requires creation. You're going to have to learn how to cut a pattern, or you can make your pattern. You use a sewing machine, so you're using your hands, you're cutting, you're creating. Photography, if you don't really have creation, you can use your phone. Being a photographer with purpose is still using imagination. It's using your thoughts, looking at the light. It's using all the filters and things within your brain, because sometimes we forget that there's touch, there's feel, there's emotions, there's creative energy, there's imagination, there's just making your mind get off of all the robotic things that it does. So photography, you could use your phone. Most of these things don't really cost anything major. You can look for the right area, find people, put yourself in a situation. You could create costumes. You could have somebody go with you. It could be something you do by yourself. Like if you like, I like to take pictures of nature. So when I go out, I don't necessarily want to pick the nature, but I love to take pictures of flowers, and I like to go out and look at mushrooms, and I go down in different perspectives. And the phones that we have now have the most beautiful cameras. So you can create it. But then when you take that, you could take your photography and you could frame it. You could make it into something else. You could use it as like dimensions and a start of something. You could take a photograph and use it to be able to make a piece of artwork if that's something you like to do. You also have cooking. Cooking is a great way to release that extra energy, because this is about healing, guys. Remember, the channel I have is about healing and well-being. You could learn how to make soup, chopping up vegetables, reading the recipes. We don't start cooking and we're just poof and we're good. It's something we do. So as you learn how to use a recipe and cook, now this can become expensive if you like to cook certain things, but if not, if you just want to make cookies, start with something simple. You're cooking, you're creating something you can eat, you're thinking, then become experimental with it. As you get done, I wonder what this would taste like. Have fun with it. That's how people create beautiful, delicious things. Now, you're going to make some gross things here and there, or something might not work out, and that's okay. There's gardening. Plants require attention. They require, learning about the dirt, trying different plants. I have house plants. I love to, keep my plants around. They're great for energy, but then they're maintaining, like people that grow gardens. You could grow flower gardens and then create bouquets to give away, or you could just do it for your own satisfaction, digging in the earth, creating a new flower bed in your front yard. Those people that like to do outside work, like it's not just females, it's males and females, digging up the hole, designing outside, like landscaping, is still creative art. It's still creative. You're imagining what you want. You go to the store, you pick out the plants, you design it, you dig it out, you put all the little rocks around, whatever. So it's still creative art. You're doing something different than just, numbers and thinking about all your trauma and your things of that nature. So creating outside in your gardening. Some people like to collage. People like to do paint. People like to do poured paintings. Most of the artwork that you could create doesn't really cost a lot. You can go to the dollar store, to Walmart, Michael's. If you are just starting with artwork, go to a place that's inexpensive. Practice with it. The only thing I would say is no comparison syndrome. Doing artwork and doing creative work is about the work. It's not about the everything coming out. And the only way to get better is to practice. So when you sit down with the coloring books, it's great. The coloring books are focused on drawing into something, and you're using your hands, you're using the colors, you're going in the lines, you're creating something that your brain has to think differently. That's why we give them coloring books. I have to do something quick. So creative art can be painting, watercolors, coloring, pencils, clay. You could be a person that likes to get the ceramic pieces and paint them. It's just as therapeutic. It doesn't matter if it's like extravagant or great. Doing something with your motor skills, creating, picking the colors. You get the point. Doesn't matter what you do. You could go to the store and pick up flowers and do arrangements. And what's happening is that people have become so busy with what they're doing that they're forgetting about the creative side, the outlet side, the thing that's different than like the grind. Your senior centers we have our local place, they do like a group. So you could do your creative therapy together or by yourself. But just remember, no comparison syndrome. Doing something creative, imaginative, is not about perfection. It's about doing it. It's about allowing your mind to think. You could even do it with reading. If you read and you're reading like fantasy, or you're using your brain to create and imagine, if you want to write, if you want to do poetry, if you want to write stories, there's so many avenues you can do. If you have to think about it to create it, woodworking, that just came to me, because this is more than just for females, and it's men, everybody. When men like to create and build things, people that like to do jewelry making, doing things with their hands and creating pretty pieces of jewelry. The reason we enjoy it is because it's a release. It's not like absorbing things, it's releasing. Now, if you do it as a group therapy, we're talking while we're doing it, and our body and our minds are releasing. We have multiple, you can do like 47 things at one time and not even realize, because while you're doing that, you're breathing, you're smelling, you're talking, you're thinking, you're cutting, you're creating, you're talking to your friend, you know, you're intermingling, maybe speaking about what's going on in your life. You're smelling, maybe having a cup of tea, you know, grab a cup of tea. It should be something that maybe not relaxing all the time, because sometimes when you're doing things it's pretty intense, but it's something that's not needed. It's extra. That's why with my art, I love to have my business, but my art is my hobby. It's my passion. It's a thing I do when I feel called to. I can create beautiful things. This is the other stuff that's important. I can create things that look exactly the way it's supposed to. Now, if I really want to create that, as I've gotten older, the perfection part has lifted, and the enjoyment of the art is what's become very prevalent. If I wanted it to be perfect, I could take a picture. Art can be anything in any style. I create a certain way, you create another way, somebody creates another way, and everybody's minds perceive art totally different. If you're dealing with something and you don't know how to talk about it, you don't know how to release it, you could put it into art, you can put it into poetry, you could put it into a story, you can release it the way that is the most comfortable for you. Because when I look at your art, I could see something. When somebody else looks at your art, it could be something else. Nobody has to look at your art. It could just be something you create, because it's the movement, it's the thought, it's the brain patterns, it's the neurons and the pathways that go. That's why it's so therapeutical when they use it in art therapy for like mental things that you're struggling with, psychological things. And sometimes the coolest stuff's come out of this, you know, therapy stuff. So this was just to kind of put it out there. We're going to be trying to do some art therapy or some creative classes in the store once I get it open. If you have any local place you can go to, be a part of it. Like I said, ceramics, photography, cooking, writing, gardening, building things, you know, going to workshops and learning how to do something is also therapeutical, because you're learning something new. You're growing your brain, you know, you're learning maybe how to use new tools, which could expand something you can do to release that extra built up energy. So consider that thing that you might want to do. Don't do everything that you've always done. Try something new. Look up on YouTube. I watch videos to see, ooh, I could try that. That looks pretty cool. Collaging, working with things you have in your house and repurposing them, like say taking a vase and creating it differently, painting on it, taking something that's old, cleaning it up and using it for something. That is part of imagination. Your brain is like, what can I use this for? And then it's something you can maybe pick up inexpensive at a thrift store. I just saw a video. They took a piece of clothing, and it was a flannel shirt, and she had these die cut flowers, and then she sprayed bleach on it, and she made a new pattern, and she repurposed the shirt. But it's the same thing. It's doing this finished product. Like, oh, that's pretty cool. You know, sometimes it's not going to come out, but sometimes, you know, it could be really awesome. Creative therapy is something other than the grind. And it's something you will start to enjoy when you find what you want to do. Even musical instruments, that just came to. If you want to create music or just playing an instrument, it's the same thing. It's using your motor skills, and it's using your brain, but it's in a different way. And the music has a frequency that helps you. So let's see, is there anything else? Candle making. You can make candles, you can make soaps, you can make makeup, you can practice putting makeup on yourself. That is therapy, because you're creating new things. I used to take makeup when I was younger. I think I was 13 or 15, and I do it now sometimes. And I would like try things when I wasn't going to be going out. So it's kind of like, it's that experimental time, trying different things, watching different videos, getting inspiration. If you see something that you like at the craft store, or you see something at a craft show, maybe finding a way to create it yourself, or seeing if you like to do that. And you might pick it up and be like, no, too frustrating. And then you might actually find something you absolutely love. So be open to things that make your brain work more than just books, work, dealing with stress. If you feel stressed, that's why they say grab a coloring book. That's why adult coloring books became so popular, because it's a way that you don't have to draw perfectly. You just are filling in. Those paint by number ones are great. They make beautiful artwork, and you're using so many different things when you're finding the numbers, finding the colors, having to go in and paint the little places. So I hope this will help you to find that beautiful thing that will heal you, grow you, expand your knowledge, expand your experiences, maybe be joined in with a new group. You could meet new friends, new people that would connect with you on your tribe. If you have any questions or you have any comments, definitely comment below. Like I said, this channel is about healing and well-being, and sometimes it's not just about the rigid stuff. It's about the fun stuff. Heal yourself through something that's enjoyable. Heal yourself through new knowledge, new places, traveling new places, eating new places. Doing something new is a way to inspire and spark the growth or the change that you need to do. Have a great day, guys. I hope this helps you.